Good morning. It's Wednesday, October 8th. Here's what we're working on this morning.
I'm Simone Gavros reporting live in Burlington. Premier Doug Ford has denied the request from more than 20 mayors to tweak but not scrap speed cameras.
That's what we're focused on, and we're going to get the right deal for America, right deal, obviously, from my perspective.
Prime Minister Carney returns to Ottawa today after meeting with President Donald Trump.
Diving stop by Caballero. Game 4 tomorrow night.
And the Blue Jays lose to the Yankees, extending the series to another game.
So Carney had more work to do in Washington. The Jays have more work to do in New York.
Yes.
We got some work to do on the roads, I understand, Brian.
Yes, 2 days in a row.
Yeah, this looks like the same cameras that we saw yesterday at this time.
It is, yeah. It's the same problem that we had yesterday heading out of Hamilton toward Burlington, and we've got problems on the, well, it's actually past that, but you can see how slow it is on this particular camera. That's our exclusive camera right around Waterdown Road. So it's a real slowdown right there. And as far as that is concerned, it's not a collision on the 403. It's a little further along, but as you can see there, it's really slow coming out of Hamilton. If we go to the MTO traffic camera, that's the best one I can show you. This is the problem way in the distance there coming towards us. It's kind of under, even past underneath the bridge. So you're going past the split where you go from either the 403 to Hamilton or the QEW to Niagara. I'm not exactly sure what the problem there is. We haven't had word on my sources whether it's a collision or construction, but it looks like it's a collision there. So it's really slowing things down coming out of Hamilton. It's also still right now slowing things down coming off the Skyway Bridge as you head around toward Brand Street. So that's a problem that we have on the roads so far this morning. As far as the forecast is concerned for the day today, we're going to have sunshine. The sun's come back. We had the showers yesterday, but you're going to notice cooler temperatures. We're half what we were this yesterday morning at this time. We're sitting at 10 right now, climbing to 16 for the day. So still, that's seasonal for this time of year, but we'll have some sun. And we'll talk about all of that coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. Premier Doug Ford has denied a request from more than 20 Ontario mayors to tweak instead of scrap speed cameras as he promises to eliminate speeding through other measures. Simone Gavros joins us live in Burlington on Brand Street with the details. Good morning, Simone.
Good morning, Rick. And this is one of the locations here in Burlington where one speed camera, one of 6, were supposed to be installed. Now, Burlington Mayor Marianne Mead Ward was one of the mayors to write a letter to Premier Doug Ford offering up some solutions when it comes to using speed cameras, but Ford says no.
If you want to continue to making it a cash grab and not looking at alternatives, we have an alternative to put infrastructure in. But folks, they don't want to do that. They want to continue to collect hundreds of millions of dollars and continue speeding, let speeding happen. They aren't worried about the safety of people. If they were, they'd start installing infrastructure.
Some of the solutions brought forward in the letter include setting cameras at a reasonable speed threshold. Right now, there isn't one. There's also a suggestion to issue a warning ticket on a first offense and a blackout on additional fines for a week after getting a first ticket. Cities say the money generated from the cameras go back into traffic calming measures. But the Premier says out of the 444 municipalities in the province, 407 of them don't want speed cameras, and the remaining 37 are, quote, greedy communities. In a follow-up letter released yesterday, Ford says between 2020 and 2024, the number of fines issued by speed cameras in the province grew by nearly 9 times, totaling more than $52 million. He says the province will pay to install infrastructure like speed bumps and roundabouts that will guarantee traffic slowdowns. The mayors are also asking the government to fully reimburse municipalities for the costs that went towards the speed camera program. The province says they'll cover the cost of canceling speed camera contracts, but that's it. Now, I'll be speaking to drivers this morning here in Burlington on Brant Street for more reaction to the speed camera conversation. For now, things back over to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much. A 22-year-old man was sent to hospital in critical condition yesterday after being hit by a pickup truck in Burlington. It happened in the afternoon at Brent and Fairview Streets. Halton police say the man was standing at a street corner when he was hit by the truck. The 59-year-old driver was also sent to hospital. Halton police are still investigating what caused that collision.
After months of back and forth, the U.S. and Canada appear to be making progress toward a trade deal. President Donald Trump hosted Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney at the White House yesterday. One Canadian government source described the meeting as positive, substantive, and more detailed than previous talks, and said both leaders had directed their negotiators to quickly land deals, particularly regarding steel, aluminum, and energy.
We're competing for the same business. That's the problem. That's why I keep mentioning one way to solve that problem is a very easy way, but we're competing for the same business. He wants to make cars, we want to make cars, and we're in competition. And the advantage we have is we have this massive market. So it's it's quite an advantage.
It's in those areas where we have to come to an agreement that works, but there are more areas where we are stronger together, and that's what we're focused on. And we're going to get the right deal for America, right deal, obviously, from my perspective.
The Prime Minister came out of the meeting without speaking to reporters and without a trade deal to announce. Instead, Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc spoke afterwards, calling the talks more detailed than previous discussions.
We have some natural.
The fate of the remaining 30 beluga whales at Marineland is still in limbo. The now closed Niagara Falls Park had threatened that it would have to euthanize the animals if it didn't get financial help by a deadline it set yesterday. Marineland made a request for emergency funding from the federal government because it's running out of money to care for the whales. That request was denied.
It's really hard to imagine how you would start to kill them. They're very aware, they're socially bonded, like they're going to know what's going on. It's going to be awful. It's going to be an awful scene. And so I think for Provincial Animal Welfare Services, this would be like all they need to seize these animals is distress. And this would be like extreme distress.
There are other options, which may include moving the whales to parks in the United States or an ocean sanctuary that is yet to be built. In a statement, Marineland says it's actively working with the Ontario government to find a suitable solution that ensures the health and well-being of the 30 belugas. As City of Hamilton budget talks begin, Mayor Andrea Horwath has set a target for any tax increase. She wants a maximum increase of 4.25%. Mayor Horwath is calling for Hamilton City staff to look at operational efficiencies and cost-saving measures, as well as new and expanded revenue streams. She doesn't want to cut services, but says aging water pipes and roads need to be addressed.
Our city has been forced to deal with real and visible consequences of years of underinvestment in critical infrastructure, like roads, transit, water, wastewater, IT. It's a long list, unfortunately.
Horwath's targeted maximum increase is much less than the 8.9% hike that was presented by Hamilton City staff last month. Ontario hospitals say they need another $1 billion this year in funding. The Ontario Hospital Association says hospitals had a collected deficit of $360 million last year, and they face more pressures this year. The provincial government announced up to $1.1 billion for them in the spring budget, but the Hospital Association says they are still left facing complex financial and operational challenges, including inflation and an increased demand for services.
Sportsline, the Blue Jays had a chance last night in New York to book their spot in the ALCS for the first time in 9 years, and Toronto started things off on the right foot.
And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out! He's done it again!
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. continues to swing a hot bat. He launched a 2-run rocket into the Jays bullpen to give Toronto an early 2-0 lead in the third inning. The Jays extended their lead to 6-1 when Anthony Santander stroked a 2-run single into right field. And at that very point in the series, Toronto had outscored the Yankees 29-9, and they were well on their way to a series sweep. But the Yanks would not go quietly into the night. Aaron Judge doubled home a run in the bottom of the third, and Giancarlo Stanton added an RBI sac fly to cut the deficit in half. An inning later, Judge was at the plate again.
Ahead 0-2. High in the air, deep down the left field line, and it's off the foul pole. A 3-run homer, and the game is tied.
Yankees captain evened the score at 6-6 with one mighty swing of the bat and went 3 for 4 in the game with 3 runs scored and 4 RBI. The Yanks took their first lead in the 5th when Jazz Chisholm cranked a solo home run, and the Bronx Bombers added 2 more runs, scoring 8 unanswered runs to win the ballgame 9-6. The Jays were 39-0 this season when leading by 5 runs or more until last night. Up 2-1, Toronto can eliminate the Yankees with a win in Game 4 tonight. First pitch is at 7:08 p.m. Cal Raleigh hit a 2-run homer, and Eugenio Suarez and J.P. Crawford added solo shots to lead the Seattle Mariners to an 8-4 win over the Detroit Tigers. The victory gives Seattle a 2-1 lead in their American League Division Series and puts them within a win of reaching their first ALCS since 2001. The first chance to advance will come this afternoon at Comerica Park. National Hockey League's regular season officially got underway last night with a trio of games. The Panthers raised their second Stanley Cup championship banner in 2 years, then went out and beat the Blackhawks 3-2. Jesper Bokvist batted home the winning goal midway through the third period to break a 2-2 tie, and Burlington's Carter Verhaeghe also scored for Florida. Justin Brazeau scored twice, Evgeny Malkin had 2 assists, and Artur Silovs made 25 saves as the Penguins opened their season with a 3-0 win over the Rangers in New York. Martin Necas potted a couple of goals in Colorado's 4-1 win in L.A. Nathan McKinnon had 2 assists to pass Joe Sakic as the Avalanche's all-time points leader with 1,017 and counting. The Leafs host Montreal in Game 1 of their series tonight. A local team is ready to bump, set, and spike their way to glory in Spain as they represent Canada at the World Veteran Volleyball Championships. Competing against 12 other countries, the Niagara players are competing in the week-long event hosted by the International Veterans Volleyball Association. And our production assistant Katie's dad, Kevin, says he's proud to wear the Canadian flag alongside his teammates and prove that, quote, the old guys have still got it. We wish them all the best of luck.
Yes, let's go. All right, 12 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's Wednesday morning, the 8th of October. We've got a slowdown here at the 403 on Waterdown Road. Getting more information on the problem. It is construction. Lots of construction going on around Brant Street, both directions. But it sounds like the construction Toronto bound around Brant Street has now cleared. It's just the other side that is still going on. But as you can see, it's pretty slow at Waterdown Road. To some MTO traffic cameras, see what we can find. QEW Welland, St. Catharines, Nikola Tesla Boulevard looks good. Here's where we had all the construction. That's the 403 junction right around Brant Street. So Toronto bound coming out of Hamilton heading away from us there. You can still see the flashing lights on the other side. Nothing at the Ford plant, just a little bit of volume, and volume is building here at the QEW in Cawthron, but still moving okay. All right, to the forecast. What we have at the moment. Temperature has just fallen by a degree. We were 10, we're now single digits at 9. There's a bit of a breeze this morning. The sky is mainly clear after all the cloud cover and the showers. We had about 3 millimeters of precipitation yesterday. Air quality risk for the day today? Nope, low risk category once again. That's a look at all the showers that we had yesterday. This is a 6-hour loop. It's moved off towards the east, off towards the east coast as that cold front pushed its way across us. So that blue line, leading edge of the cooler air, flooding in and pushing itself away off into the Atlantic. Now that ridge of high, that's going to get us back into sunshine, but oh, it's going to be a heck of a lot cooler, and you'll notice that tomorrow morning. But at least we'll have the sunshine during the day. So today, 16, 17 degrees, generally just sunny skies to a mix of sun and clouds, a little cooler for Guelph and Kitchener. Tonight, okay, tomorrow morning, we could get some frost. Yes, patchy frost is in the forecast for tonight. Definitely frost in outlying areas, but 2 and 3 degrees for the Horseshoe tonight. So definitely frost away from the lake, but patchy frost is possible even into Niagara overnight tonight. Tomorrow, sunshine. We should climb to 13 to 15 degrees. So that's seasonal for this time of year. So that's not a bad day. So as you step out the door, 8th morning of October, temperature now is dipped to 9 degrees. There's a bit of a breeze. but the sky is mainly clear. And we'll check long range coming up. Annette, Rick.
Thank you, Brian. Coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat. And gold hits a historic milestone, continuing its impressive run in 2025. More after this. Good morning, Emily. What's coming up in Chit Chat this morning?
Hi, good morning, guys. Well, we are taking a look at Emma Stone's newest film, Begonia. The latest trailer has dropped, and Harry Potter is celebrating a huge anniversary. We will discuss, and several Bob Ross paintings are going up for auction. And just now, sitting in the newsroom, I was watching The Joy of Painting, and you're lucky I made it in here on time.
It's so calming, isn't it? It's his voice.
Yes.
And just like he makes it all look so easy. Like
Yeah,
I could just,
and you think for sure that you could paint trees like that.
Yeah.
totally.
Not so.
I can't.
No.
Come back with an easel.
I might for Chit Chat. I just might.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily. All right, let's take a look at some business numbers in overseas trading this morning. The Canadian dollar is down 2 basis points to 71.62 cents U.S. Gold is up $58 an ounce, and crude oil is up 44 cents to $62.17 U.S. a barrel. In midday trading in Europe, London, Frankfurt, and Paris are all up.
Asian markets were mixed today, with Tokyo and Hong Kong down, while Shanghai ticked up a bit. On North American markets at close yesterday, the TSX and Dow fell, while the Nasdaq was up.
Gold is selling at more than $4,000 an ounce for the very first time. Today on Asian markets, it gained another $49 to $4,053 an ounce. Its price has soared more than 50% this year alone. In January, an ounce was selling for nearly $2,700. Investors have traditionally seen gold as a hedge against high inflation. Gold prices are rising because of huge debt loads carried by governments around the world, political uncertainties, and fears of higher interest rates.
Striking Canada Post workers are set to meet with the federal minister that oversees the Crown Corporation after accusing the government of trampling on the collective bargaining process. Postal workers went back on strike nearly 2 weeks ago after sweeping changes were announced to Canada Post's mandate by Procurement Minister Joel Lightbound. They could lead to more community mailboxes, the closure of rural post offices, and the end of daily mail delivery. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers wants the government to roll that plan back.
A parliamentary committee is launching a study of labor standards in Canada's trucking sector. It comes after the Bloc Québécois called for an end to exploitative practices in the industry. The House of Commons Transport Committee is looking at transport companies that classify drivers as independent contractors rather than employees. Many of them prohibit temporary foreign workers from operating as incorporated drivers.
Johnson & Johnson says it plans to appeal a $966 million verdict against it. A jury in LA found the company liable in the latest trial, alleging that its baby powder products cause cancer. The family of an 88-year-old woman who died in 2021 sued the company, claiming the talc products contained asbestos fibers that caused her rare cancer. The jury ordered Johnson & Johnson to pay $16 million in compensatory damages and $950 million in punitive damages. Johnson & Johnson says the jury's verdict is, quote, egregious and unconstitutional.
We're going to take a quick time out. Brian is going to return with a traffic update and your 7-day weather forecast. Good morning.
Coming up on 624, it's Wednesday morning. Sun's not up for another hour yet. Let's get into traffic this morning. QEW at Mountain between St. Catharines and Niagara Falls. No problems at the moment. Looks good. Quite slow here south of 2 going toward Brant Street. So you're coming off the Skyway Bridge. We've got construction all around the Brant Street area that was in both directions, but now at least the eastbound or Toronto-bound lane construction has cleared. We have a vehicle off to the side, QEW at Appleby Line, but not impeding any traffic flow there. That's Toronto bound. Lake Lorne Park looks good. It's just a bit busy. And the 403 at Burnham Thorpe, nothing to see there. All doing fine. Temperature this morning, we were 10. We've now fallen to 9 degrees, single digits. 10 for Mississauga, 12 for Grimsby and for Toronto. For sun times for the day today, 7:25 and 6:49 are the times. Those are our seasonals, 15 and 5 and records for today. And we will have the sunshine coming back for us today. Mix of sun and clouds, and 9 for the first bell this morning for school and 16 for after school with that sun cloud mix. And that's the forecast high for the day today. Less than yesterday, of course. The cold front went through. Yesterday we got to 21, humidex of 28 with that shower activity, but today 16. Tonight, down to 2 degrees. Frost is quite possible in most areas around the horseshoe tonight, even Niagara, so be careful. 15 tomorrow and sun, then the temperature climbs Friday, Saturday, sunshine, Sunday and Monday for the holiday. Mix of sun and clouds, 17, 18, but then clouds roll in for Tuesday. Looks like a nice Thanksgiving weekend coming up. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Okay, something that nearly everyone has in their kitchen is turning 80 today.
That's when defense contractor Raytheon patented what is now known as the microwave oven. It was invented by a man named Percy Spencer. He was working on radio and radar equipment, and while experimenting with a magnetron, he noticed it melted a chocolate bar in his pocket. After some tweaking, the microwave oven was born, but it was huge and expensive when it was first introduced. It wasn't until 1967 when Amana, which was then owned by Raytheon at the time, shrunk it down to a tabletop size. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yes.
Right, so microwave popcorn or stovetop popcorn? Which would you prefer?
Oh, only microwave, just because of the convenience.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. I like the taste of the stovetop,
yes,
but
it's so much work.
It's way too much work when the movie is paused.
Yes.
It's like, no, I want popcorn now.
Yes. We just can't wait another 30 seconds.
No.
Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. Good
and then
morning.
there's the cleanup.
Yeah, there's that too.
There's
I know.
that too.
So many factors.